Welcome to 2021. And here we are at 2021, and it turns out that it's a whole lot like last year. Who'd have thought that adding a 1 at the end of the year wouldn't change a thing? It's kind of funny how we've come to, like, you know, expect things from new dates and new years. You know, Monday I'll stop eating cheeseburgers. You know, next year this is gonna be my year. I mean, I guess at one end I see it. I mean, a year is kind of like a container, right? And we put a lot of things and a lot of memories and do a lot of stuff in that container, and we like to remember that time frame as that container of all the stuff we did there. I mean, there's some years I remember that were pretty good and that I look back on with decent memories, but 2020 was a weird one. Now, I can't complain too much because, like, at least business-wise and creatively, it was probably one of my more successful years. But yeah, no, it wasn't a good year for humanity, and this year didn't start off so good either. So, you know, let's just make the best of it, okay, guys? Let's do that. This is kind of an update video in one regard or another, letting you know what I've been up to, what's going on this channel, and why I don't post as much as I used to. Don't worry, the channel's not dying. I've just been busy working in creative media. Since I've moved to Atlanta, I got a whole lot busier in that regard, and I've been shooting a lot of real estate photos, of real estate videos, showcase videos. I even got to shoot Neo's old home, which was pretty cool. Didn't expect that one. Wedding videos. I've been doing a bit of wedding videos as well, telling unique stories about the couple and, you know, kind of documenting the day in my own editing style, and even dipping my toe into the commercial space. I actually want to do that a good bit more because I think there's a lot of interesting things you can do in that field that keep it from being too redundant, and definitely want to do more of that. So that's been the stuff that's been paying the bills, because YouTube's not quite doing that for me yet. I can see it moving there, and that'll be cool the day that I can kind of rely on this and kind of keep the lights on with YouTube. That'll be cool. Then I get to film more videos that I care about, which is another thing I want to talk about. This channel, though I can't quite promise the quantity of the posting this year will go up. I kind of wish it did, but I do promise that the quality is going to level up a bit. This is a new setup for, you know, filming these like talking sessions, and I thought it might be interesting having the two lights there, the frames and all that. A little bit more aesthetically pleasing than just kind of throwing the camera into my messy office, as I kind of done since the beginning of this channel. Maybe there was charm to that, I don't know. I don't know why you guys subscribe, but thank you. Thank you for being here for me, and I really do appreciate that. And it's really cool being able to see like reoccurring commenters that, you know, take their time and find interest in this channel. I mean, apparently there's like 2,600 of you that found it in your heart to subscribe for some reason, so thank you. I appreciate you, and I do look out for you. Another thing I want to talk about is Instagram. Go follow me there if you want to have a little bit more interaction with me, because that's where I film, or at least share, you know, post pictures of like some of the behind the scenes stuff of the stuff that I'm working on, especially for YouTube. But that's like, it's a little bit easier to interact with people there than it is on YouTube. YouTube is where I post the big stuff, but Instagram is like how I ask questions, get polls, and do all that kind of stuff. And it seems to be, I don't know, just people interact better on there. So go follow me there. It's the same thing, Laplanet Arts, you'll recognize the logo. And yeah, speaking of which, I asked Instagram a couple days ago to ask me questions to be featured on this video, because I want to start doing Q&As, bringing some life to some of my subscribers, answering questions they may have about, you know, the work I do, about stuff for YouTube, or, you know, just how I'm doing. Got my phone here. I got some of the questions that were asked, and we're gonna read them now. Starting things off with Cody Narrow. He's asking me, what's up? Got a ceiling fan. Oh, a dusty ceiling fan. Okay. I'm filming a YouTube video. That's what's up. And working a little bit too much, probably. Christine Swain, AKA my mother-in-law, asked me what's my favorite pastime. I'm gonna have to say video games. It's kind of like how I unwind. It's like one of the only things that gets me out of my head, at least reliably. And it's been something I kind of grew up with. And I don't know, it might be generic, but I like playing games. It's fun. I like spending time with friends too, but I haven't really been able to do that this year. Alyssa Belkasy asked me, what is the next upcoming project? I'm gonna assume that is referring to YouTube, because I do kind of have like 10 projects always going on at once, because I'm a little bit unfocused. But let's apply that to YouTube. I've got a few in the pipeline. There's been like a few projects that I've been working on a little bit here and there, and some that are a little bit sooner to production than others that are in the pipeline and I've actually been working on. And one of the next ones that I've got coming out is, okay, I'm gonna need context. So you know how like phones for a couple years now have been able to take raw photos, and that's been really cool. That's like usually on the higher end phones. And it's been a few years now, it's not new. So by taking a raw photo, you're able to just basically get an unprocessed image as like high quality as your phone, like just straight from the sensor. It's much better for editing. You can usually get way more dynamic range out of it and kind of push the colors a whole lot more than you could with the JPEGs that your phone already processes. And sometimes just doesn't do a great job at. So I've been experimenting with raw photos from my phone for a little bit now, trying to do like kind of street photography type stuff. And the results have been great and I've enjoyed doing it. But it got me thinking, what if you could shoot like raw, like cinema style video from your phone? Hasn't been released yet. No one's really done that. But I thought like if the photos were so good, like what if you could get like straight up raw video from your phone? It would eat tons of your data, like monstrously. So I could see why they wouldn't do it, but I definitely think that the processing power of phones is certainly capable of it. So that got me into tinkering, and I may have sort of started filming some raw video with my phone. And I'm really excited about that because it kind of shows potential and opens up opportunity for manufacturers in the future to see like, hey, this is something that would be really cool. And I'm really excited to share that soon. So yes, that is one of my upcoming projects, along with a few others that I'm not gonna share yet because I don't want to give away too much. But look out for that one. That one, I don't know if it's the next video, but it's like one of the next videos I've got coming up. Also, go follow Alyssa's work on Instagram. Her work is like seriously amazing. Sam Clapp, AKA the Clappinator, asks, when are you starting a podcast? Sam would ask this question because he actually has a podcast himself called the Why You Laughing Podcast. And go check that out if you like having, like listening to kind of more like laid back, friend-to-friend style conversations about things that people are interested in. Sam's like pretty good at keeping conversations going, even on like varying topics that, you know, other guests that he has are interested in. So go check that out. Now back to his question. When am I starting a podcast? Well, that's a tough one. I've given it actually a lot of consideration. I want to do it when I know that I can reliably and consistently upload episodes. So I want to make sure that it's something I can do maybe weekly or at least close to weekly. And that means that I can get reoccurring guests or just know that I can always have someone on the show. I also would prefer to have the structure, like if I can have it in person, that would be great. Right now, not so doable. And being able to get you know, to support something like that on such a continuous basis means that the channel has to be a little bit bigger, I think, to be able to do that. But I think that since I'm fairly well-rounded in the creative world, I've actually come to meet a lot of awesome people in different parts of that world, whether it be photography, videography, music, or people who are illustrators. There's a lot of that world that I just love being a part of. So I think I could get a few guests on there, and I think that'd be great. And I would love doing that show, but I think it's a little bit further down my pipeline, or further down my sights than some other projects, but it is something that I am considering doing. And if you would like that type of show, comment down below whether you'd like to see that, because maybe I'll push it up on the priority list if that's something that everyone would like to, you know, watch or listen to. Okay, I got a few submissions from Greg. Now, Greg is one of my oldest friends that actually long time ago started making videos with, and he was like one of my main camera guys, and we just like filmed a whole bunch of shorts together and had the time of our lives a long time ago. So I made a vow to him that he's gonna one day work for me, and we're gonna go back to the video making lifestyle we had together, and he will work for me. Back to his question: who styles your hair? Right now, it's looking almost like Conan O'Brien is styling my hair, because this is possibly the longest it's ever been. Yeah, my hair has like a process of like two varieties. It's either really short, and then it grows out to this length, and then I eventually cut it back down, and it's almost never changing. It's very consistent. But yes, me. I guess I style my own hair. He also asked, what is your main source of inspiration? I'm gonna have to say that YouTube is, at least consistently, because there's so many amazing creators on here just making awesome stuff, you know, on their own. And it's like the sheer variety of styles and different like forms of media that people are sharing it. It's fantastic, and I love it. And that's been my main source of really for learning about all this stuff and, you know, improving my own quality. It's YouTube. Although I will say, like, throughout life, I have kind of like taken inspiration from like lots of little things. Just, I'm kind of an observant person, so I like watching stuff and just, I don't know, sometimes inspiration has to hit you in the most random ways and be open to it. So kind of just comes from everywhere. But if there was like one consistent tube of inspiration, it's YouTube. Do all Canadians have thick eyebrows? No, but I wouldn't say so. I mean, my dad's living proof of that. His eyebrows are kind of weak. I'd say that some of them do, for sure, just as in all walks of life. Although these are probably those random Hungarian genes I got. Hungarian people have really crazy eyebrows. Is it true that as a Canadian you bleed 100% pure maple syrup? Yes. Yes, it is. How long have you been making videos? Since November of 2004. So you do the math on that. I think that's like 16 years. I was a young lad. But it started with a Sony Handycam camera, and I was making Lego stop motion animations. It was like I just figured out that by tapping the record button on and off, you could take like just a couple frames at a time, and then piled together, you could have a very inadequate animation. But I loved it, and like was starved for making better videos, and just kept making them. And eventually that turned into other things. So yeah, it's been a bit. What's your favorite video you've done to date? The most rewarding so far has probably been the pasta PC video, because it was just an obscure abstract idea that turned into like kind of a sensational thing that everyone seemed to be entertained by, and it was merely only meant to be entertaining. It wasn't meant to be like revolutionary or anything. But that one was fun because it took a stupid idea, and then I made something that was crazy, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And I laughed a lot behind the scenes just making the thing. So that one, I mean, that one's kind of an obvious one, but the Lego phone was also a lot of fun, even though that wasn't nearly as successful, mostly because the thing just didn't really work in the end. But it was so entertaining to see this blocky, horrifying hunk of something. And that one was a lot of fun. I did have more enjoyment, I'd say, from that one than anyone else did. But sometimes that's what's important. The only other one that really stands out to me is like one of my first videos was I went to Five Below and bought a $5 VR headset for mobile phones. And I just had the time of my life, like playing all these like really old, like the first VR Android games that were out. And I was just being goofy and stupid and had a genuine, like good amount of fun making that video. And I've actually like gone back periodically just to watch it again because no one else liked that video. No one else watched that video but me. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And I kind of would like to do something like that again. If you're curious to see that video, I will link it below. It was a lot of fun for me. Yeah, those three stand out for sure. Definitely going to be a few more added to that list this year, as I've just said. If you could expand into any video type explored or not yet explored, what would it be? I definitely want to do kind of more of a journalistic approach to some videos. There's just like some topics that I'm really interested and passionate about that I would like to bring into a more cinematic light and just kind of like talk about it in kind of a documentary but interesting type fashion. And there's a lot of things that I would like to bring that to. And I haven't really done much of it yet, but I do have a few videos planned for that this year. I would like to travel more and kind of not do like the stereotypical travel videos. I mean, travel videos is such like a faraway idea at this point, just based on how everything is. But I would like to do some travel videos showing things in locations that are a little bit more like condensed and personal, rather than just like the montage of like, you know, jumping off cliffs into water and all that stuff. I'd like to show more of a local perspective of places you travel to, showing what it's actually like in that area. So that's something I'd like to do at some point when, you know, the world's not falling apart. Whiskey or scotch? At least from what I've had so far, probably whiskey. Chris Hanneman asks, what are you doing? Well, I'm filming this update/Q&A video. Carly Likes Frogs, aka Carly Wellen, asks, what is your least favorite part of wedding shoots? That feels like a trick question, and it feels like bait because I filmed her wedding. And yeah, no, I don't think the answer would be what you would expect. I've actually not had a bad experience with any couples I've shot weddings for. At least not yet. Everyone's been like super cooperative and like easygoing, and I haven't like run into any like bridezilla type individuals yet. So yeah, I don't know. I've been spoiled so far. Nothing horrible yet. I mean, I've had like other team members, like photographers that were a little bit hard to work with, and I've also had some that were great to work with that I'd love to work with again. But nothing crazy. I think the most stressful part has been actually just driving to the wedding, because not knowing exactly what to expect, because most of the ones I've worked on have been a little bit more last minute, at least like less planned. So I've kind of had to show up with like everything just to make sure that I could take care of everything once I'm there. And that's usually kind of stressful. The only other stressful thing is like after the fact, like trying to think of things that you could have done better and then being like kicking yourself for that. But I've always been able to turn out a video that I've been satisfied with, and the couples seem to be satisfied with too. So that's cool. Yeah, but nothing terrible yet. So far, it's been a great experience, and I enjoy it and would love to do more. Well, that's it for the questions for today. Remember, I will probably be doing more of these because I think it's a great way to interact with you guys. So if you want to partake in that, make sure you follow me on Instagram so that we can do this again. Other than that, I genuinely hope that it's a better year for most of us. Remember, everything is what you make of it, so try and make the best of it. and watch out for some upcoming stuff, because like I said, I got some doozies packed for you. So I'm just gonna awkwardly walk out of frame now.